Hello and welcome back to goldstocktrades.com. Today we have back here with us Mark Saxon. Mark is CEO of Tasman Metals. Tasman can be traded as TAS on the New York Stock Exchange. Thanks, Mark, for being here with us all the way from Australia.
No problems at all, Jeb. It's certainly been a while since we've spoke, and I'm keen to give you an update.
Mark, rare earth investors are seeing a lot more activity in the market, especially since this summer. What's your view on what's happening in the rare earth market? What's been changing over the past few months?
Yeah, well, certainly it's been a very tumultuous period, I suppose, is the only way to describe what the rare earth sector has been through, and really junior mining in general has been through. Certainly, there's been some challenges in the market, and I think that that really most of that seems to have passed through now. When we would have last spoke, I guess 12 months ago, we would have had many rare earth companies that were talking about projects that were trying to make progress and drilling and sampling. When we look at the market today, really there's only maybe 10 or 12 rare earth companies in the market that are out there advancing projects and trying to make progress. And so it's a much smaller market. All those projects are material, are good quality projects. The companies have good quality management. So it's a much smaller sector now. I think what we've seen also is that the prices of the physical rare earths have come back down now to a level where consumers are happy to come back into the market and actually buy some of the product. When we were talking about rare earths at the very high prices, then the consumers just left the market. They really weren't interested in buying metals at those prices. Whereas today, they're back in the market and they're active again. So I think, there's been genuine demand coming back in from the consumer side, and that is now coming through into the stock side, and we're seeing that flow through into the stock markets as well.
Mark, let's talk about the application of rare earths, especially in the use in permanent magnets. We're seeing it being used in smartphones, hard drives, the automotive industry, wind turbines, where we're seeing major growth there in some of the wind turbine companies. Talk about what rare earths are used in these permanent magnets and why it's so important to have a supply for permanent magnets in these industries.
Yeah, most certainly, Jeb. And really, the permanent magnet market is very strong. I think the growth over the last 10 or 15 years has been around 7% per year, which is excellent in any market. And really, for Tasman, that really is the key part of the market is permanent magnets. As you said, permanent magnets go into many applications, and really in every home, in every car, in every office, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of permanent magnets. Essentially, what a permanent magnet is, it's a very high strength magnet that is based on the metals neodymium with or without dysprosium, with or without terbium, and it's those magnets that give very high efficiency to small motors and are very closely tied to efficiency of any kind of automotive or small motor application. Wind turbines, MRI machines, every single vehicle that's built all consume the magnets. The reason that your computer hard drive doesn't crash into itself when you move your laptop, that's a permanent magnet that's taking care of that.
So those metals that are used in the permanent magnets, dysprosium, you have projects that have these metals. Can you talk to us about the projects that Tasman controls in Sweden?
Yeah, certainly. We were a fairly early mover as a company moving into rare earths, and myself and my business partner had some experience in Sweden, and so we went across to Sweden and educated ourselves about rare earth metals in that country and what projects were available. Sort of by good luck rather than good management, we soon identified that most of the rare earths, in fact, had been first discovered and named in Sweden, which was a nice little bonus, and also that there was a range of very good quality projects in that country. So we moved quite quickly, and that was in 2009. We picked up a number of projects, and two of those projects have really come through during the last few years as being exceptional projects on a world scale. So particularly, we made the discovery of a project called Norra Karr, and Norra Karr is a very large project. It can have a mine life easily in excess of 40 years, where it provides much of Europe's needs for those high strength permanent magnets, plus a whole range of other rare earth metals as well. And then we have a second project called Ulcerum, which is smaller but very interesting as well on a technical front, because of the minerals that are present at Ulcerum are quite easy to process and extract.
Mark, from an investment point of view, Tasman such a quality company for investors to look into when they're wanting to invest in the rare earth sector?
Yeah, certainly that's that's obviously a good question for any investor to consider, I suppose, and really. Rare earths is a challenging sector because of the markets are a little opaque, and it's hard to understand the pricing of the metals, and the supply and the demand is not as transparent as gold or copper. But really, I guess that's where the strength of Tasman comes, is that our business model is very simple and clear, and our customers are very simple and clear. Tasman, with a project in Sweden, and one of the world's largest and highest grade heavy rare earth projects, our natural market is Germany. And obviously, when you think of the German market, you think of every German vehicle. You think of companies like Siemens and BASF and Bosch and Daimler and BMW. All those companies are very major consumers of permanent magnets, and that's our very natural customer base. Sweden is a great mining country. There's many operating mines there at the moment, and therefore it has a good permitting system that has been well tested. One of the other features, I suppose, that is unique to Tasman is that Sweden is a very well educated society, and also it has many industries that overlap quite a lot in terms of metal supply and metal production with the rare earths. And so we'll be able to draw a workforce from the local area around our project who can operate a mine, operate an extraction facility that is really quite technical. And Sweden gives us that benefit because it's such a good country to work in.
Mark, you recently announced that you were granted a mining license for the Norra Karr deposit, which really gives Europe the opportunity to be a leader in heavy rare earth production. Talk to us about the significance of this mining lease.
Yeah, as I mentioned, that Sweden is a great country to work in, and really Sweden is well known for efficiency, and really I guess the motto of most Swedish businesses could easily be do things well and do things once, and so we certainly benefit from that in terms of how fast we can progress, and getting a mining lease so quickly is a great example of that. Once we discovered Norra Karr, we went quite quickly to begin collecting our environmental data and our baseline data around the project. We submitted that data as part of quite a large document to the Swedish Mines Inspector, and on the basis of that, they granted us a mining lease, which means we now own the project for 25 years. At the end of 25 years, the project is then, or the license is then renewed in 10-year increments, as long as we're still working on the project. So really, we own the project now in perpetuity, which is great, and it's a great show of confidence that there's no impediment to mining on that site, and that the Swedish Mines Inspector knows and understands the project very well, and is interested to see it move forward.
Well, Mark, thank you so much for joining us all the way from Australia. Mark Saxon, CEO of Tasman Metals. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Jeb. Always happy to talk.